Now we're being told there's a hole in the sun. Yeah, a hole in the sun. About the size of 60 planet Earths. And you know, I saw a video of that the other day. Here it is, the hole in the sun. Somehow there's a hole in the sun. What the hell? And I started thinking, there's a lot of strange stuff going on in the world right now, this week, including this. A long lost ship was found in the desert of South Africa. You heard me right. A long lost ship was found in the desert. Then you got this story. Scientists have discovered a prehistoric world on Earth in Argentina. What the hell does that even mean? I'm telling you, there's something weird going on. There's some kind of phase going on. There's some kind of shift in reality. There's some kind of parallel universe. I don't know what it is, but something is definitely going on. And it's not just with me, who's had no sleep for 4 straight nights. I have slept in the day a little bit, but I'm averaging about 3 hours per day. I don't know. I just wanted to tell you all some of the weird stuff going on. Shabadoo, Bushkis! Shabadoo!
Oh, what do you think is going on in this world, good people of Earth?
She did not have to sign that.
Yes, she did. It is literally her job. So as sign language interpreters, we don't only interpret what the speaker is saying, but if things happen in the environment around us that might draw the attention of other people within the crowd, we have to interpret those things as well. It is likely that people within that audience reacted to the person yelling F you, and so the interpreter has to convey that information. It's all part of equal access.
Oh man, that's interesting and good vibes, man. Much love.
We're on Coronado Beach and we're seeing weird lights in the sky, as you can see right now. It's kind of followed us. You'll see the lighters part down at the bottom there, and at the top you can see these rays of light coming out. I have never seen anything like this before in my life. And I've been watching the sky since 65. I mean, look at that. It's pulsing. It's pulsing like they're going around. It's pulsing. Wow, what bright. Oh, wow. Folks, I want to zoom in, but I feel like if I do, let me try a quick zoom in. Wow, honey, look at that. Look at that. I'm coming back again because I feel like I missed part of it. Wow. Wow. That's the Pacific Ocean in the background. We're at a military base. This thing's been following us. Honey, call to it. Let's call it down from the clouds. Whatever it is. Please come through the clouds and show us your true essence. Come through the clouds and show us your true essence. Shine brighter. Thank you. Brighter yet. Are you clapping for them? Oh my God, they went with your clap for a bit, honey. No, sweetheart. Let's send our consciousness out there and ask for them to contact us. There's a lot of military helicopter activity out here that's flying under this and a little closer to us. Oh my God. Oh, what is that? What is that? What is it?
What happens if you boil an egg forever? Like if after it's cooked, you just keep going and going and going? I'm curious. Let's find out. I boiled this egg for well over 4 hours. Let's see what's happened. It felt like a bouncy ball, like those ones you have as a kid, and it looks brown inside. This is the weirdest egg I've ever felt. It's turned into rubber. The yolk has gone totally gray, and it's developed this weird membrane inside. I honestly love making these videos for you all. So what do you guys want to see next?
Oh, is that still edible?
Like, Grace, I'm not tripping, right? This is the building right beside you.
Yeah, this is my building.
Right.
Because I'm in the middle of it.
So, why did he tell me he at the gym, but he's right next to you?
He says he's at the gym. Call him. Wait, y'all, wait, she's about to call him. Y'all, she's about to call him. There's no way. Do y'all know anybody in this neighborhood?
No. Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Wait, call it again.
Ooh, one ring.
You already know how I get.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
He has nothing.
Bro, call him again. Him not answering is acting like crazy.
Hello?
Hello?
Where are you at?
What? No, that's the best part. I need season 2. What's that? We have season 2? Fuck yeah.
Bro, call him again. Him not answering is acting like crazy.
Hello?
Hello?
Where are you at?
I'm at the gym. You know where I'm at.
What gym?
The one, this right up the street is about 15 minutes away to Planet Fitness.
Well, you know what? Because the way you was declining my calls, I'm gonna come work out with you.
Babe, I'm literally lifting weights. I'm not going to be able to lift weights and talk on the phone. That's dangerous.
That's dangerous.
No, just say you about to work out with him. Say you want to work out.
I'm gonna work out with you.
I'm almost done. I'm literally stretching now. I'm about to head back in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah.
Bro, what? No, let's just go to the location. No, let's go. Let's walk.
What? What? Yes, let's go. Let's go to the location. That is our boyfriend now. You've brought us into this relationship. You made it public. So I'm making it publicer. Where's season 3? I need season 3. We gotta go to the location. Friend?
That's creepy, man. People should be honest with one another.
Carl Higdon, the man who traveled to another planet with an alien called Oso-1. Carl Higdon's story is amazing. He met an alien named Oso-1 and traveled 163,000 light-years from Earth to a distant planet, where he was scanned with a strange device. In addition, the alien being confessed to Higdon that his species traveled to Earth to hunt human beings? That was never known. October 25, 1974, Carbon County, Wyoming, United States. Carl Higdon was a 41-year-old man, dedicated to the oil industry. That day he went hunting for the weekend in the Medicine Bow National Forest, as he was an experienced hunter. Although he traveled by car to reach the site, he had to follow the path on foot, due to the poor condition of the road. Carl Higdon would never imagine that he would travel to another planet with an alien named Oso-1. As he entered the forest, more and more the morning sound was muted. He seemed to be in a place where there was no human presence, a totally uninhabited place. Without warning, he came across a group of deer. There he observed the leader of the herd. It was a huge male with branched horns. He fired without shaking his hand, but something strange happened, leaving Higdon stunned. When the bullet came out, there was no sound at all, and the rifle also did not recoil as normal. The bullet flew forward slowly. Without any explanation, it fell to the ground as if it had collided with something invisible along the way. Suddenly, the oil worker felt something strange in the air. He became more and more tense. He had the feeling of being in a place with static electricity. Frightened, he decided to pick up the bullet, but in doing so he found something unusual. It was deformed. It looked as if the bullet had collided with a hard object. Blinking, he realized that the herd of deer had escaped. Still, Carl Higdon felt that he was not alone. Carl Higdon discovers a strange creature in the woods. Turning to one side, I saw a being with the appearance of a man. He was standing. At first I thought he was a hunter like me. I lowered my gun. But he came out of the shadows to where I was, and I immediately realized that something was not right. My heart began to beat faster and my knees felt shaky, to the point of wanting to faint. Carl Higdon felt that something was coming when he heard the branches crack on the ground. There he saw a human figure behind the shadows of the surrounding trees. It seemed to hide, but not for long. And that's not all. His arms were weird. In one he had a chisel, tool for cutting hard things, instead of a doll. The enigmatic being approached him and looked at him for several minutes, until he asked him a question as if it were a friendly introduction. Although it had a strange appearance, the being did not seem threatening, even asking Carl Higdon if he was hungry. The creature gives Higdon some enigmatic pills. Without letting Higdon answer, the humanoid being took out a plastic bag, and using a levitation technique on the object, handed it to the man, who checked the bag and found 4 pills inside. Those pills are capable of keeping you full all day, the creature told him in a friendly tone. Finally, the being introduces itself by calling itself Also-1, before pointing to a transparent cubic-shaped object. However, he had no windows, no front door, and no landing gear. He was just on the inert ground. Carl Higdon travels 163,000 light-years from Earth with Also-1. Without hesitating for a moment, Also-1 asked Higdon if he wanted to take a walk, but inexplicably the subject was already on the ship. However, these questions were calmed when he saw something similar to a force field, where 5 frozen deer were floating. The man was sure that they were the same animals that he saw in the forest. The ship began to take off. Meanwhile, Higdon watched on the transparent walls as the ship went up and left the planet Earth. Carl Higdon traveled 163,000 light-years from Earth with Also-1 to an enigmatic planet, where there was a large luminescent tower. However, the man saw something unusual. There were human beings in that place, but he never knew who they were and why he was there. Also-1 told him that they were going to Earth to hunt, and that they had traveled 163,000 light-years from the terrestrial planet. Then, they went to a room to scan Higdon, but the creature told him that it did not conform to his intentions, and that it was best to take him home. In a blink they returned to Earth with the spaceship. Without saying a word, they left the man in the forest, where the rifle was lying on the ground. Carl Higdon's story is investigated. Carl Higdon put out a distress call for authorities to find him, but his story would forever mark Carbon County. Some people mentioned strange lights that day, and with a trembling voice Higdon told what had happened. Through hypnosis they managed to recover his memories. He was even evaluated by medical professionals, who were astonished to find that the scars left by tuberculosis had disappeared, along with kidney stones. In addition, the crushed bullet was found in one of his jacket pockets. Investigations showed that this was possible if the bullet had made contact with an object harder than wood or stone from the forest.
Oh, what do you think happened there? Is that somebody's story, good people?
The Bible is not a book about religion. The Bible is a book of principles, promises, practices, precepts, patterns, prayers, and prophecies that give me the ability to make predictions about outcomes in the future. So I can know what's going to happen before it happens, and I can position myself in the path of prosperity. Let me define prosperity. Prosperity means flow. Good. I can position myself in the path of prosperity, so when the flow comes, I'm standing there buckets in hand. I don't have to go get ready. I stay ready so I don't have to get ready. And literally, I've lived my life like that. And every time I learn something, since I'm 16, 17 years old, in order for me to decipher whether or not I believed it was truth, I went back and evaluated, does this contradict something in the Bible? Or is this confirmed by something in the Bible? When I found out it was confirmed, I did it. When I found out it contradicted, I left it alone. My life has been extremely blessed beyond measure as a direct result of that.
If your truth comes against the truth, then it ain't truth.
Oh, and there's some good vibes video there. Much love till the end.
3,000-year-old hanging coffins in the Philippines? I'm from the Philippines. I never heard of that. And apparently this is also in Russia and China and Tibet. I'm going to dig into this a little bit more. I bet you there's a pattern on those holes, either for wind or for water, or for steam if they were using it as an oven. Tartarian technology. All these old architecture that we say was used for something else, like water wheels or the merry-go-round. I mean, fireplaces aren't for burning fire. The Tartarians were a civilization that built things that were useful and not just pretty. Their castles were transformers, literally transforming etheric energy from the earth into free energy, creating structures using frequencies and cathedrals using sound and light. Most all this old architecture is Tartarian, including the Great Wall of China, which isn't a wall, it's like a chain for some giant gears. Who comes up with these cover-up stories? The buildings that they couldn't burn down with the great fires or shake off with those earthquakes, they just make up stories and say that's what they did. Hang the dead on the side of a hill.
What do you think was going on back then?
Breaking news, guys. So this video behind me is making a lot of people mad. Check this out.
So I'm not tipping anymore. I'm done. I'm out. Used to be you would give a tip if somebody gave exceptional service. When was the last time you got exceptional service anywhere? And it's just expected. They bring you the bill at the end and they're like, here, just fill this out. 20%, 25%. No, you did your job. They made food. You carried it to my table. You got me a Diet Coke. Thank you. That was your job. You don't get 25% because you did your job. And I'm not the bad guy here. I'm not. If you own a restaurant, just tell me what it costs. I don't want people to go hungry. What does it cost for me to get my food, and also so that the wait staff doesn't have to join the cartel, do some Lord of the Flies, Oliver Twist? Like, I want people to be taken care of. Just tell me what it costs.
This is making a lot of people mad because people are saying that this is America and in our culture, we tip regardless. Because even if the waiter is doing their standard job, we know that as a society, waiters don't get paid much at all, and they rely on those tips to survive. And that if you really don't want to tip, you can go through the drive-thru or you can just order the food to go. But I do see where this guy is coming from, because I've noticed anywhere and everywhere now, they're just asking for a tip for doing the bare minimum. Like back when I worked at Subway, we were specifically told to not ask for tips. But a couple days ago, I got me a Subway sandwich, and right when you enter in your card, it asks you, do you want to give 15, 20, 25% to the sandwich makers? Or when I go to Starbucks and I go through the drive-thru, mind you, I put my card in the slot to pay for my coffee, and they still ask, do you want to give $1 to the drive-thru worker? And it is sad if you think about it, because I do believe some businesses are just relying on tips so they don't have to pay them the money themselves. And he keeps asking at the end, what does it cost? What does it cost so, that they can survive? And unfortunately right now, until, wages change, it's going to cost you tipping that person so, they don't have to join the cartel. As a former waiter, as a former bartender myself, it did hurt when I, did my job and then I got my receipt back and I didn't get any tip at all because I was making $3, $4 an hour. And I already know the response to what people are going to say to that. They're going to say, well, if you don't like that money, get a different job. But I'm specifically answering his question on what we need to do as a society if we want to get this tipping out of control. That means we either need to give waiters and bartenders and all them a fixed income to where they don't have to rely on tips, or we're going to have to tip, or they won't be able to survive. And many people will quit being waiters and bartenders if tipping is no longer a thing. But I do agree with him, tipping is getting out of control. But let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like this video, share it everywhere, hit that follow button. Until next time, love, peace, and taco grease.
So, please be loving and caring to your neighbor as you do to yourself.
When you find an actual photo of a slave trade ship, let me please.
My friend, I am all about researching historical inaccuracies, and I do think you're onto something here. If you haven't already, go watch his video. I'm going to do all the research and the Googling for you, so just watch what I found here. First up, let's look up a Viking ship. Everybody knows about the Vikings, their ships being famous, going back hundreds if not thousands of years. I'm not a historian, don't quote me on the timeline, but look what happened when I Googled it. Viking ship real, and if you search Viking ship museum, it's more or less the same results. There's a lot. So what happens when I search for slave ship real? Ship museum. And my friend, I assume you're talking about African American slaves, so that's what I looked up. And it's all pictures. Nothing. And all the results that show up under museum, if you actually click.
What do you think about that, good people?
Stop for a minute. We need to break.
Nice getting tired.
Need a break?
Alright, come on, bud. Come on, he's by your back corner on that side, coming up by the oar. Coming up to land.
Take a break.
Come on, what's the matter, honey? Yeah. That's a good boy. Alright, I know what you're thinking, but don't you think it.
Oh man, that's some good vibes human there. Oh my god, that's scary.
Always be careful of ghost nets. If you see this in the water, you should not get your boat close to it, and you should also report it. This is a video that popped up on my For You page, and it had a lot of people freaked out, and it triggered their thalassophobia. It shows something very large and eerie looking hidden under the water, and this is something known as a ghost net. As many of you guys know, commercial fishing usually involves these very large nets that they drop into the ocean, they leave for some time, they come pick it up, and they get their catch. Over time, these large nets can become worn down or become unrecoverable, so these commercial fishermen just leave it in the water. These nets can be left here for a very long time, and they can be very hard to see. And there's a few different reasons why they're so bad. For one, if you have a boat and you run it into one of these, it can get stuck in the prop, and you can pretty much just be stuck out in the water. But more concerning is the environmental impact. This large net can end up entrapping fish and then attract larger predators that also get trapped, and it really ruins the ecosystem. There are people that are removing these from the ocean, but they get dumped far too often, and it takes around 600 years for one of these to decompose. So if you see one, report it, and don't get your boat too close.
Oh man, there's a lot of things happening on the waters. Oh.
What if I told you that there's a really good explanation for that? Allegedly. The reason why I may look 30 and also look 60 is because I'm both. So allegedly, this is me in 1990. What if I were to tell you that I'm older in this picture than I am in this picture? Would that make sense to you? Allegedly, of course. So I don't age like you might age. You guys have just one direction when it comes to aging, straight to the grave. Aging for me is kind of like a free-for-all, right? It all depends on whether or not I'm taking care of myself and giving myself the right resources from time to time. I've celebrated my 30th birthday 4 times. I've celebrated my 60th birthday 3 times. This is 1990. This is after I consumed the right resources. This is me in 1944, 45, allegedly. This is me in the lobby of the Chelsea Hotel. I was waiting on Gordon Parks. If you don't know Gordon Parks, he's a world-renowned photographer, a musician, composer. He wrote books. He's actually one of the founders of Essence magazine. I did him a favor, and I said I'd go to my grave with this favor. I'd never tell anybody. Anyway, I did him a favor, and he repaid me with friendship. So this is me just waiting in the lobby, waiting for him to come down. It was like a Great Gatsby themed party or some shit like that. I might be getting that wrong. It was a while ago. So now you're probably asking yourself, well, what is it that I'm consuming? Some of y'all already know, so I don't have to say it. Some of y'all are catching on, and some of y'all haven't caught on yet. Don't worry, I'm about to show you something that explains it all. But first, I just want to say that a lot of the movies that you guys watch about vampires, allegedly, most of those movies aren't really giving you the truth, you know? A few movies get close. But the movie that I think gets it the closest is El Conde. It means the Count. It's on Netflix right now. I highly suggest it. It was a good movie, you know, even if you're not a vampire or not interested in vampires, or if you know you're allegedly a vampire.
It's well known that vampires' hearts are the most delicious by far. They are also the most efficient for renewing our bodies. It's hard to explain, but every fibre of heart that descends through our chests makes us young. My son preferred to remain in this country of rubble. I didn't have much choice. Children today do as they please.
And of course, none of this is real, right? I've said allegedly a lot in this video. I've said allegedly a lot. I even said allegedly when I didn't need to say allegedly, just to make sure y'all knew it was alleged. Right? So there shouldn't be any like government agents knocking at my door, you know, asking for vampires or anything, because that'd be crazy, because I said allegedly. I definitely said it.
Oh, what people of Earth? Who is that guy allegedly? Yeah? Someone couldn't believe what they saw. Oh my god, on the Reddit. Glitches found in real life. Oh my god, always check public places. This is some crazy stuff. Oh my god. Why can't we see the ball's reflection on the mirror? Or that is not a real ball. What is going on there? There is some crazy stuff here, good people of Earth. You see? Oh, and some good vibes pigeons there were chilling in some place. What happened? Why did they look like that? Oh my god. Look at this. What is this now? Is this snow or... this is creepy. But it looks like there is something behind there. Oh, look at this. Ah! Ha! Look at this. Good people of Earth. What's up with this lady here? Oh my god. Yo, is this a glitch in the matrix, or what's up with her? Has her brain hanged or something like that? What is going on, good people of Earth? Oh man. Oh, the cows are probably worried about the sheep too. Million-year-old extraterrestrial watch found. Let's see. Oh man, you see these days people put on watches made of minerals from the earth, like jewelry and such kind of stuff, gold, silver. But people from the past now did it in another way. You see, they also made stuff from minerals on the ground. Only that them they used stones. Like this one you can see is a stone watch. Oh my god. Imagine carrying this watch around, walking with it for a whole day, and you probably realize that you are very tired on one side, one arm, and you wonder what's up, not realizing it's because of the weight you have been carrying around all day of stones. Look at this. Oh, this is an amazing watch, man. Those guys back then, you mean they created this? How? How did they make it? Good people of us, I always wonder where the first person to make this watch, how did they know the time? You see? It's nothing.
I've been saying this for a solid year and a half now.
Do y'all want to know the big conspiracy in the Bible? The big secret they do not want you to know about. Man, this video might shut half these churches down. When this secret gets out, you can shut those seminaries down, board up the doors and windows. We don't need those no more. After this, y'all won't need me no more, and if you had a Bible, you never did to begin with. Here it is. You can take any story out of the Bible, any story out of the Old Testament, or the story of Jesus in the New Testament. Pick your favorite Old Testament story. Noah and the flood, Sodom and Gomorrah, the Exodus from Egypt, the Assyrian captivity, the Babylonian captivity. You like David and Goliath? You like Abraham and Sarah? Just pick one. Take that one story out of the Bible, fold it up, put it in your pocket. And in your pocket, you will have the gospel of Jesus Christ and the revelation of Jesus Christ. Because every story in the Old Testament is telling the revelation of Jesus Christ behind a veil. All the characters are represented there. The timeline of the events and the actions of those characters is consistent across every story. And from start to finish, every single one of them tells you the gospel of Jesus Christ. And furthermore, the story of the life of Jesus in the New Testament tells you a story as well, and that story is the revelation of Jesus Christ. If you take the story of Jesus' life and blow it up to a worldwide scene, you have the revelation. All the actors represented there, the chronology and the timeline perfectly according to the revelation. And that's why some people say Jesus came back in 70 AD because they think that the Romans throwing down Jerusalem was Armageddon. But if that's true, why wasn't it Armageddon when Nero and the Greeks did it? It wasn't Armageddon when the Babylonians did it. Wasn't Armageddon when the Assyrians did it. It wasn't Armageddon when it fell on Egypt. It wasn't Armageddon at the flood. But all of those events did tell you the story of the revelation of Jesus Christ behind a veil. All of those events did represent Armageddon. History repeats this one story for every generation to witness the revelation of Jesus Christ behind a veil. Goliath is the flesh and David is the spirit. Ishmael is the flesh and Isaac is the spirit. Esau is the flesh and Jacob is the spirit. Do you see what's happening here? Cain is the flesh, Abel is the spirit. Do you see? When Abraham denies that Sarah is his wife, it's the same story as when Peter denies Christ. When Jehu gathers all the worshippers of Baal into one temple and then bars the doors and burns it down, that's representing Armageddon. The eunuchs throw Jezebel down there, that's the 144,000 in the fall of the whore of Babylon. The testimony of Jesus Christ is the spirit of prophecy. That story was the beginning of mankind on the earth, and then it repeated for every generation until it's repeating right now. World War III represents Armageddon so that no man has an excuse. We have all in our lifetime witnessed the revelation of Jesus Christ play out on the earth. What is that story? You must be born again. How do I know it's true? The moon tells me in its phases. The seasons tell me every year. The caterpillar tells me as it emerges a butterfly. History confirms for me that life is a maze. Jesus is the door, and the Bible gives the clear instructions in every story for how to exit. It's a wheel within a wheel.
Without a single doubt, world history from this region right here has spiraled out and gotten bigger and bigger and bigger until it has touched the whole globe. All according to prophecy, which we are living ourselves right now. History repeats just like Fibonacci spirals, and without a single doubt, it's every bit of it according to the Word of God. I told you in the last video that everything that you can even name in this whole universe God has created is going through this cycle of life and death only to be reborn as something bigger and more organized. Bits and baubles organizing into stars, stars organizing into galaxies. Tiny sperm swims into the egg, reorganizes as an entity 30 trillion times bigger than it was. Death is only the end of a thing as it was. And by every example, everything in the universe is collapsing to get bigger, to collapse, to get bigger, to collapse, to get bigger. Organizing the information, the data available here, more and more and more, until finally it will all be organized to the point that it can run one last time, the millennial reign of Christ, culminating in a second Armageddon than the one we're all familiar with from Scripture. When I say Christ arrives for his millennial reign and the whole story starts over and runs one last cycle, that's what I mean. Spring, summer, fall, and winter all over again. The millennial reign of Christ will be the last go-round. Here's why. Since day one, creation has been firing up towards eternity. The steady state of perfection. What else do you think all the data in the whole universe is organizing towards if it's not perfection? What do you think organizing means? The story will stop repeating when it reaches the steady state of eternity, which thing it was always designed to do. History is repeating bigger and bigger and bigger so that it can run one last time and achieve the goal of creation itself, God's perfect plan, his will accomplished fully. This is what has happened, what is happening, and what will surely happen. And I don't care if I die at a ripe old age with zero vindication of the words that I've told y'all for the past 2 years. My words do not need to be justified in my sight. That's how sure of them I am. Let he who has ears hear all that I have said here on this page on TikTok. This was a time where we could all decide what we wanted to be concerned about, what we all wanted to be known and remembered for. I thank God that this is what I have told y'all about. Regardless what happens tomorrow or any day in the future, it has been my pure pleasure and joy to serve you. As often as you stumble, get back up, and whatever you do, regardless of what the world does, finish this race. There ain't nothing else to do here, fellas, I'm sure of it.
Yo, good people of love. One love and unite, man.
Can someone tell me how we don't know that he wasn't born in like 1629 and is only like 391? And he's like, I'm only 391. And in fact, my birthday hasn't happened yet, so I'm only 390. I mean, we need to be sensitive about his age. By the way, good photo, Julius.
300 years? How?